have to pay zakat on possessions such as like your gold jewelry?
Does a person have to pay zakat on his personal possessions, such as gold jewelry? Well, obviously a man shouldn't have gold jewelry. That's first and foremost. A woman is allowed to have gold jewelry. There are two different views among the people of knowledge. It allows no doubt the safest thing to do is for a woman to pay zakat on her jewelry. Some scholars say that there's no zakat on jewelry. There's not enough proof, the proof is not strong enough. Be on the safe side. A layman Muslim, be on the safe side, pay the zakat on the jewelry. Wallahu a'lam. That's a woman's jewelry, her gold and her silver. As far as other precious gems or precious metals, la. If a man has precious metals such as silver, copper, brass, semi-precious, whatever, if he has gems, rubies, diamonds, emeralds, whatever, no zakat is due on those metals, except for the gold and the silver of the woman. And to be specifically gold, not specifically, but let's just say that for now. Complications.
What's the ruling on closing your eyes in salah?
Closing your eyes in the prayer is permissible if it allows you to have better khushu'. Wallahu ta'ala. Fuck on. 3,900. Interesting. You gotta look deeper into that, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan. Fadal.
How to balance extremism in Islam?
How to balance extremism?
Yeah, between extremism and being deep.
How to be extreme, how not to be extreme, so on and so forth. Well, I've been asked this question many times before. And of course, extremism is a problem. It was a problem then, it's a problem now. It will always be a problem in all aspects of life, not just in Islam. And obviously, this isn't your question, but for people listening and watching, people say things like Islamic extremism. Okay, well, let's talk about Christian extremism. Do we hear anything about that? Timothy McVeigh.
That's too far.
Blew up the whole entire FBI building.
That's too far.
But you don't hear it in the news. Christian extremism, Catholic extremism.
Palestine.
All you hear is Islamic extremism. Let's talk about Jewish extremism, Zionist extremism. See how quick you'll get canceled. So people are very hypocritical, thinking that extremism is only bad in one way of life or one religion. Or within the Muslims, within Islam, you find people accusing people of one methodology of extreme. They're extreme, they're extreme, they're extreme. Maybe they are. Some of you young guys do have extremism with you. So that's a fact. But this group and this sect, they don't have extremism with them too in certain things. They don't have extremism, fanaticism for their sheikhs and scholars and imams. So don't be a hypocrite too much. Obviously, you can't help being a hypocrite, but don't be too big of a hypocrite. So fight extremism, battle extremism all across the board. Period. It's bad and it's harmful no matter who performs it. Muslim, Jew, Christian, white, black, this group, this methodology, this method. Can we agree on that? That's first and foremost. Secondly is, who determines what extremism is? Is there a dictionary? Is there a lexicon that says this is the definition of an extremism? That's an opinionated definition. Subjective, relative. To you, this is extreme. To me, that's extreme. Who defines what extremism is? So we have to have some definitions of what extremism is. First and foremost is extremism could be a person worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with something that Allah didn't legislate. This isn't from the deen. And a person, he takes that and he practices it, he sticks to it, he keeps doing it. Or something that Allah Azza wa Jalla, the Mighty and the Most High, did legislate, it's from the deen, but he keeps doing it and does it too much. The Prophet said sleep, and he keeps praying. The Prophet said don't continue to fast, and he what? Fast every single day. He who fasts every day, la sama man sama dahra. He who fasts every day hasn't what? Hasn't fasted. But the person says, no, Allah won't forgive me. I have to fast every day. I've made all of these sins. I've done all this wrong. I have to. That is extremism. Even though fasting is from the deen. So extremism could be something that's not from the deen. Extremism could be doing something too much that's from the deen. Or extremism could be doing something in the manner of how you're doing it. That's harming and hurting you. You don't sleep at night. That causes you to get sick. You oversleep for school. You miss work. Because you're making dua, you're praying. One may say that is extreme. But the next man who doesn't have to work in the morning, different story. Alright? So there are details concerning what is and what is not extremism. Practicing the deen as the Prophet ﷺ told us to do it is not extremism. A young man who doesn't want to have a girlfriend, that doesn't mean he's an extreme Muslim. A girl who says, this boy cannot see me, it's your cousin. Give him a hug. It's haram. That doesn't mean she's what? Extreme. A person that says, I don't want to visit my family members on Thanksgiving or Christmas, that you can't call them extreme. Al-tamassuk, holding to the deen, is not what? Extremism. And of course, there are many, many other examples that people will call extremism today. But subhanAllah, you just look at the effects. Just look what Allah Azza wa Jalla says, Kutiba alaykum al-qital wa huwa kurhun lakum. Fighting is incumbent upon you, even though you may dislike it. And people say that any Muslims who fight, who stand up, or resist, they're extreme. But just look at the punishment that Allah sends upon the Muslims when the Muslims don't fight. Or when the Muslims became passive and docile. And they became behind their enemies, left behind with the enemy's military technology. Look what happened. So the people that pointed the fingers at the fighters being extreme, you're going to be conquered and colonized as well. The bombs dropped in what? Indiscriminately. Upon the extremist, resistant fighter, and upon the peaceful, pacifist, westernized, modern. They don't care. So be mindful. Shaitan is a plain enemy to man. And from Shaitan's tricks is to get the deen and the sunnah and the aqidah from Quran and sunnah and call it and label it extreme. Waliyadu billah. May Allah help us all. From online.
AQ, Ontario, Canada. Is it permissible to take a student loan in Ontario?
It's called an OSAP game. Alright? What they told me up there. At the end of the day, taking a student loan in Ontario or wherever you are, you should avoid. Don't do it if you don't have to. Don't do it if you don't have to. Don't put yourself in debt. Don't put yourself with that, that interest-based loan if you don't have to. As far as if you have to, there's no better option. It's a necessity. It's a need. Do what you have to do. The long run.
KB, Montreal, Canada. What's the best way to get to know a sister from the first time you see her to the day of the marriage?
What's the best way of getting to know a sister from the first time you see her until you're married? That's going to differ and vary from person to person, culture to culture. Obviously, if you can meet with her and her guardian, talk with her, speak with her, you ask her the basic questions, the formal questions about marriage, her lifestyle, her religion, and the personal questions: what's your favorite color, what's your favorite food, what's your favorite book, what's your favorite season, blah, blah, blah. Do you like long walks on the beach at night? So on and so on and so forth, right? You may ask her, Aqidah, ain't Allah, where's Allah? Allah is above the throne or not? Does Allah have a place? What are the conditions of La ilaha illallah? What's your position on fulan and fulan? Etc., etc., what? Etc. What's important is getting to know someone in the proper Islamic fashion. But that's going to differ and vary from person to person. Some brothers may say, I met her once, I saw her, that's all I need to know. I don't need to know anything else. Alhamdulillah. Tawakkul. Other brothers may say, I need to get to know her for a very long time. Our parents have to meet, cross-reference, etc., etc., etc. That's going to differ from person to person. Okay?
Some brothers would say the cook is in the teeth.
Allahu Akbar. Tfaddal.
That's A, London, UK. How to keep up habits from Ramadan after Eid.
How to keep up habits after Ramadan, correct? Well, I think you have to distinguish between fard and nafl. That which is obligatory versus that which is recommended. So first and foremost is, if you're a businessman, the most important thing is maintaining your capital sums, correct? Not losing money, not losing a customer. Keeping the clientele that you have, keeping the money that you have, whether that's saved, whether that's rent, keeping that. And of course you want to keep gaining and gaining and gaining. So if there was something that you did in Ramadan that was fard, that was obligatory, you cannot go back to not doing it after Ramadan. Because it wasn't an option, and it wasn't a Ramadan festivity like we have. It wasn't something that just, no, it was something that was fard, that was mandatory. That's number one. So all the things that you did that were obligatory in Ramadan, keep them up. Because you don't have a what? Choice. Number two, the recommended acts, pace yourself. Ramadan is special. You're not going to be able to do everything. But try to keep what? One good habit. Every year. Make that your resolution. One additional customer a day. One additional sale a day. What I did, I gave sadaqah every single day of Ramadan. Outside of Ramadan, I give sadaqah on Friday. Make it your duty to give sadaqah every day. $1. $1. That's it. $1 every single day. Give it to a poor person. Give it to a poor person. Right? And then the next year you tag on the second good habit. Allah Ta'ala.
RW Billy US. If I stole drugs of someone worth $100, now I want to right my wrong. Is it better to give $100 back to the drug dealer, or shall I donate that $100 to charity?
If you stole drugs from someone worth $100 and you want to right your wrong, do you give the $100 back to the drug dealer, or do you give the $100 in charity? I would say, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, give it back to the one that you stole. If you don't want to give him back the money because he's a drug dealer, give him something worth $100. There's only your drugs to take. That's not your money to take. And being a drug dealer, that's not your responsibility to regulate, right? But at the same time, you feel afraid of giving him $100 where you took $100 worth of drugs. Will that $100 be put back into the cycle of the drugs? Allah. For sure, you took something from him worth $100. He could have had that $100 of drugs to feed his family. You don't know. That $100 could have been used to make. You never know what he was going to use that for. So the safest thing to do, and Allah surely knows best, the safest thing is to give him $100 with the hope that he won't do drugs or sell drugs. What are the chances of that? I don't know. Maybe you can talk to him. Say, look man, there's some money I want to give you. Stop selling drugs. Wallahu a'lam.
I asked Minneapolis, Minnesota, someone shift my local mosque prays Isha earlier than its prescribed time, sometimes 10 to 15 minutes earlier before your bed. Is this permissible?
Isha cannot be made until it comes in, unless you combine Isha and Maghrib together. If you're making Isha separately, you must make it after its time. So therefore, if you feel that it's 15 minutes early, 10 minutes early, speak to the masjid. Talk to the masjid, advise the masjid. Maybe they're right, maybe you're wrong. Allah knows best. But bring up your concern.
AK St. Louis, Missouri. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. In regards to hijrah, if someone hates the pervasiveness of crime in their area and has other dunya-related reasons why they want to relocate, but also still generally wants to leave a non-Muslim country, does it mean that they don't have pure intentions because they have several motivations?
Question is regarding making hijrah with several incentives or several motives. Crimes in your neighborhood, you want to leave a non-Muslim country, etc., etc., etc. There's nothing wrong with having more than one motive. There's nothing wrong with having more than one incentive. As long as your ultimate goal is seeking Allah's good pleasure. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
And Roswell, Georgia. Consider one can pray with a baby. Could I put a baby in a baby rack / carrier to pray with her?
Can a person pray with a baby carrier on? Yes, inshallah.
And Roswell, Georgia. Can babies see jinn / angels? What about animals?
Can babies see jinn / angels? I have no knowledge of that. I can't affirm that. Never read anything about babies having a special power to see jinn or angels. La adri. As far as can animals see jinn, then obviously animals hear things that humans don't hear. The Prophet ﷺ clearly said that in several hadiths with regards to burying the dead and how the punished screams and shouts out, يَسْمَعُهُ كُلُّ شَيْءٍ إِلَّا الثَّقَلَيْنِ. All things hear it except for humans and jinn. As far as animals seeing the jinn, maybe, la adri, Allahu alam.
If you remember that you accidentally did an extra account after doing the tasleem, you have to repeat the salah or if the salah is valid.
Person remembers that they did an extra rak'ah after the tasleem. What do they have to do? Is the prayer invalid, etc., etc.? First and foremost is make sure that you remember and don't just think. Do not do anything extra after the prayer, after the tasleem, until you are certain. As far as waswas, thinking, doubting, do not perform any additional worship after the tasleem unless you are certain. If and when you're certain that you made an additional rak'ah, the prayer will be valid as long as you make the sajda to sahw. Make the sajda to sahw, fix it for that additional unit, and khalas. Wallahu a'lam.
YF Gambia. Assalamu alaikum.
City or town in Gambia, please. Hold on.
Can sajda to sahw be made before tasleem?
Can you make sajda to sahw before the tasleem? The general answer is yes. The different styles of sajda to sahw. When you make before, when you make after. That depends on the error that was made in the prayer. That's a very long discussion. Wallahu a'lam.
YH Charlotte, North Carolina. Assalamu alaikum. Can you explain how Salatul Kusuf is performed? Is it 4 straight or 2 and 2 with a break in between?
Salat Kusuf, 2 rak'ah together, continuously with 4 rukus. So you go into ruku' and you're going to do what? Go back up, read, recite again. Then you're going to do what? Ruku' and then sajda, etc. Then you're going to come back up. 2 rak'ah with 4 ruku'. Okay? If I'm not mistaken, and Allah knows best, there should be a playlist in the library on the fiqh of kusuf. If there isn't, inshallah ta'ala tonight we will update it on different videos and classes that we've done on how to do the kusuf prayer, the eclipse. And Allah Azza wa Jalla surely knows best. Very interesting. One day earthquake, one day eclipse. Allah surely knows best. And of course there are many things to do when there is an eclipse. With regards to giving sadaqah, with regards to making istighfar, with regards to prayer, etc. Wallahu a'lam.
And Senegal, I want to take the Quran from you last week.
You want to do what? Someone's from Senegal saying that he wants a dua from me. Jazakallah khairan for your good thoughts of me. If I had to make any dua for you, I would say, Allahumma faqihhu fid-deen. Allahumma faqihhu fid-deen. Oh, faqihha fid-deen. Allah grant this questioner, this disciple or discipline, knowledge of the religion. Ameen. Whoever they may be. May Allah give you knowledge of the religion. Ameen.
YF Badjo Gambia. What's the ruling on sisters wearing their hair in a low bun? Sisters who have a lot of hair swelling to make it flat and some say it's haram here, even if it's a low bun.
It's time?
No, it's there.
Ish.
Playlist.
It's there. Jazakallah khairan. How about that? It is a playlist. Look in the library. The fiqh of kusuf. The eclipse. The prayer and the fiqh of the eclipse. We have classes and lectures on that. Can a sister wear hair in a bun? Is the question? A low bun. Meaning the kimar or? There's nothing wrong with a sister wearing her hair in a low bun. It's permissible. As long as under her kimar is covered, it's not showing, it's permissible inshallah. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
821 Cairo, Canada. Is driving with a license plate on vehicle but with no insurance sinful?
Tell that to the state trooper. Driving with a license plate with no insurance. Are you sinful? In front of Allah or in front of Officer, what's his name? Donnie McCluskey. Allah Musta'an. If you're going to do it, make dua. Oh Allah, blind their eyes and hide my faults. Fadl.
Would you recommend?
Say that please again. I can't hear y'all, man. It's very long. Sorry. I'm sorry, it's long.
BS Castle, Germany. Would you recommend to delay Islamic studies in Medina due to financial reasons?
Delay?
Islamic studies in Medina.
Questions coming from a city, I didn't hear the name of the city, in Germany, with regards to delaying Islamic studies due to to financial difficulties. That's the question? I would say if you have the opportunity to study Islam in Medina, take it and seize it immediately. One of the greatest blessings of Allah upon a servant is for him or her to learn the deen correctly. In any place where you live, let alone a land like Germany, all lands in which there's a great need of knowledge, proper knowledge, thorough knowledge, especially from the people that are indigenous to Germany, that know the society, know the language, know the culture, learning and studying and teaching it and spreading the sunnah there, and the correct aqidah there. So if you have an opportunity to study anywhere, let alone in Medina, no doubt you take it. And only Allah knows how things are going to be in Islamic University in Saudi Arabia. Nothing lasts forever. We talking about this last night, right? If you have a big fat cow in front of you, what do you want to do? What should you do? Take advantage of it, because it's not going to last what? Forever. How many scholarships were given out in Medina? How many scholarships are given out now? When was the last time you heard something being accepted? Back some years ago. Left and right. How many brothers didn't go from this masjid? How many brothers dropped out? You know, I mentioned names. Brothers that were sitting right on this carpet, refuting this one. Where are they now? We're talking about the majority. Where are they? Allahu Alam. They didn't take advantage of the opportunity Allah gave them. Wallahu Alam.
A8 Bristol, UK. Do we have to do another taslim after the sujood of forgetfulness, which was done after the first taslim, or do we just do the two sujood and continue after the prayer?
Last question tonight with regards to such tasahul, prostration and forgetfulness. You must start with takbir and finish with taslim. Even if you made it after the taslim, the final taslim of the prayer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best, and with him is all success. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك جزاكم الله خيرا. There is or there isn't? There is. Alright, I'll update it today.